I just sat down to film and the animals are already circling me. Also, if you can hear that, that's my refrigerator. But hey guys, it's Sam, and I have an exciting announcement for you guys. Already, kid is in the lab, as predicted. Oh, also before I get into it, yes, tattoo! If you guys don't follow me on social media and saw me screeching about it there, it's a tattoo. The start of a patchwork sleeve for the night circus. So this is inspired by one of the chapters, one of the tents in the night circus. I'm on day 4 and it's just started to get itchy. I know about all of the tricks, so don't worry. I have ointment, I know to tap it, I know not to scratch it. Trust me, I watched tattoo advice videos for like 2-3 months before I got this. I'm good. But today I have a special announcement for Tome Topple Readathon round 15. 15! It is a teenager. But this round of Tome Topple is happening this month, October 18th through the 31st. And that is in your time zone, so starting at midnight on the 18th in your time zone and ending at 11:59 p.m. in your time zone on the 31st. And if you're new to Tome Topple, which I don't know anyone that is at this point, but if you are, it just means you read books over 500 pages. That's it. Any format, any whatever, that's the only rule. I do have prompts to just help you pick, because I know people enjoy prompts, but honestly, all you have to do to do Tome Topple is read a book over 500 pages. And whatever, it can be anything. Sure, there are a couple things like, would prefer you didn't read short story collections, but I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know. So don't worry. If it's over 500 pages, it counts. We have a bunch of previous co-hosts joining us for this round as well. We have Audrey from Perpetual Pages, Sam from Will Read for Booze, Gaia from Instagram, Lalatrice Greta, Tori from Tori Moro, Joss from Yogi with the Book, and Sean from the Treat Yo Shelf blog. You can use hashtag Tome Topple on any platform to talk about Tome Topple. We also have a Twitter account, Tome Topple, and there's also a Discord. We don't do anything on Goodreads anymore, so there is a Discord. Recommend you joining there. Talk with other people that are participating in the readathon. I will address this here because apparently it gets asked like every round since we've had the Discord. We do not do reading sprints in the Discord. I know it would be really cool if we could do that. However, reading sprints are harder than you think they are to run, especially with people's conflicting schedules, and asking us to do things in 2 different places. Not super empathetic and like conscious of other people's time, you know? Like this is something that we're all doing on a voluntary basis, you know? And we all have lives and full-time jobs, we're all adults. So it doesn't happen on the Discord, but it happens on Twitter. And you know what? Reading sprints aren't even required for readathon. I know that we now live in the age of readathons and everyone has reading sprints and complex Excel spreadsheets and all this. You don't need to do any of that for a readathon. Actually, those are perks. Those are extras. So that being said, don't feel pressured to do any part of this besides the reading 500 pages of a book during this time. If you want to, you don't have to. That's what's fun about it. So we do have prompts, a little spooky bingo card I made this time, Spooky Forest. And again, these are not necessary to do any of them, but if you do decide to do some and you want to feel like, you know, an achievement, if you do 1 to 3 of these categories, you're a student, 4 to 6, you're a sage, and 7 to 9, you're a scholar, and 1 book can only count for 2 categories. 2 max. So you can't read 1 book and be like, I got all 7, you know, 9 categories. You can't do that. We have some returning prompts and some new prompts for sort of like spooky season. The first prompt is read a tome with a movie adaptation. That could be a movie adaptation that's already out or one that's coming out in the future that's been announced. Not that's only been optioned. I mean, again, you can do whatever you want, but like option doesn't mean anything. But if it's like in production, we have a release date, you know, but again, I won't know if you do that. I won't know. Second prompt is to read a tome that you started during another round of Tome Topple. Like I said, this is round 15, so you have 14 other rounds to choose from if you participated before, if you didn't finish a book during that round and you want to finish it during this round. 3 is to read a tome from a series that you haven't read in a while, so if you have a series that you've been just like putting off, which I know I have so many, these prompts are inspired by my own reading. Trust and believe. Number 4 is tome in a genre you don't usually read. And again, this is open to your interpretation. Most of us, I think, on BookTube are a little bit of mood readers, but the genre you read the least, I would say. The middle part of the bingo card is to just read 1 tome. I would say bare minimum, but honestly, not even bare minimum. If you just start to read a tome during Tome Topple, that's a success. Number 6, The one you've all been waiting for. Read a spooky tome. Now, spooky is open to interpretation as well. It can mean an actual like horror or thriller novel, something that is legitimately scary, but you know that I don't read books like that. So this can also mean just a book that feels sort of Halloween spooky-ish. It can be in a haunted place. It can just be sort of like a gothic novel. It can be a haunted forest. It can feature paranormal creatures. Anything. And that can even include romance. Like it can just have like a spooky setting. There's a number of like witchy romance books coming out this year. Witches, like any of those things count as a spooky tome. Number 7 is to read a sequel. 8 is to read the tome on your TBR with the most pages. And 9 is to read a tome by a BIPOC author. As per usual, we are also going to have Instagram challenges, but Gaia, who is our Instagram aficionado, will be putting those together. There'll be little like spooky photo challenges and stuff. I desperately want to start doing more on my Instagram besides stories, but I'm lazy and uncreative photographically. But I always go between like, I want to post like cool thematic stuff, or I want to post like cute selfies, and I don't do any of it. I haven't posted anything on there, like not on my stories in months. Anyway, you will probably see stuff for Tome Topple. Will you see one for something every day? No, because that never happens for me, but at least maybe like 3 photos. If you want ideas for any of these prompts too, again, they're not necessary, but if you are somebody who wants to read from the prompts, we talk about that a lot in the Discord, or you can talk about it on Twitter using the hashtag Tome Topple. So I will show you my TBR. The first book is a book that I've been putting off ever since we decided to read it for book club, but I'm gonna try to read it. I just got it in the mail today. That is Dune by Frank Herbert. Everyone that I've talked to that is reading this book or has tried to read this book doesn't like it. Well, I think I have talked to a few people who read this like more as teens who enjoyed it and are like Dune fanboys. But other than that, the vast majority of people do not. The fact that there's like a whole appendix with like the ecology of Dune, it's just a lot. So we'll see. I didn't really fear Dune until I started seeing a lot of like TikToks about it and people tweeting about how they hated it, and now I fear it. I really want to watch the movie, and I would have just watched the movie if it hadn't been for book club, Madi. So I'm going to attempt this, but I'm not sure if it's officially part of my TBR for Tome Topple, because the plan is to have this almost finished before Tome Topple starts. There's a chance I'll still be reading it when Tome Topple does start. Always a chance. But hopefully I will have finished it. I don't know. But this would fit the prompt of a book with a movie adaptation, reading 1 tome. I think that's it. Genre you don't usually read. I mean, I do read sci-fi, but it's one of my like least read of my read genres. I don't know, kind of fits. I love these covers, but we'll see. Then the 2 books I actually want to read. I promise I'm not hate reading Dune. I'm just not optimistic about how much I'm going to enjoy it. If I don't like it, I will stop, just to let you guys know. I'm personally not a hate reader. Anyway, this was a book that was actually on my Magical Readathon TBR, but I didn't get to it because it was one of the prompts at the very end of the month. So spoiler for my wrap up, I didn't get to this book. But that is Rise of Empire by Michael J. Sullivan. It's the 2nd book in the Rare Area Revelations. Really love these books. This is a book from a series I haven't read in a while. Would also be a sequel. So get into this. I tend to read these pretty quick, so I'm thinking that after the slog of Dune, potentially this could be really good for me. Then the last book, because I'm really only trying to shoot for 2. 2 is probably stretching it a little bit, but we're gonna try. My spooky book is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I read Gideon the Ninth last October, maybe September, October. It's a good spooky book, and this is like, features lesbian necromancers in space, bone magic, sort of like soul magic. It's a little spooky. So this fits my spooky. It also fits a series I haven't read in a while because it's been a year. It fits sequel. That might be it. But these are all the books that I really feel like I can get read this month period. Like if I read these 3 books in the month of October, I'll have succeeded. It sucks because spooky season always sneaks up on me as far as reading wise. And there's a number of other books that I would like to read for spooky season. I probably won't get them in. Like every year I want to reread the Horson series by Garth Nix, and I can't. Because other things take up my time. So who knows, maybe I'll carry spooky season over into November. But this is my spooky tome. So that is it. Those are the books on my TBR for Tome Topple, the end of this month. Comment below and let me know if you're gonna participate in Tome Topple and what books you plan on reading. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.